Hello, beautiful peaches. Welcome to the Macros, Metabolism, and Motivation Beautiful Peach podcast. I'm your host, Caitlen, here to help you find your most unwavering love, beauty, and kindness for yourself inside and out. I will be teaching you nutrition and macro tracking secrets, reverse diet and metabolism health tips and tricks, and motivating the heck out of you so you want to leap up and start conquering your goals right away. I am here to help bring you the light at the end of the tunnel so you can discover that self-love and truly become the most confident, beautiful peach possible. So grab a pen and a piece of paper, or if you're in the car or at the gym, go ahead and bump up your volume just a little so we can drown out those gym grunters next to you, and we can go ahead and dive right in. Don't forget to snag your completely free high-protein macro cookbook by simply doing a 5-star rate and review on this podcast. All you need to do is submit a 5-star rate and review, then send us your name and email through the link in the show notes so we know exactly where to send your cookbook. By submitting your 5-star rate review, this will also automatically enter you into the weekly podcast macro calculator giveaway. Every week, I give away a copy of my C. U. Schmidt macro calculator to one lovely winner who leaves an awesome 5-star rate and review. This winner is announced every week on my Instagram story as well as my newsletter email list. So leave that 5-star rate and review, and I'll see you in the episode. What is up, beautiful peach? Welcome back to the Macros, the Metabolism, and the Mindset podcast. Today we are talking about the number on the scale. If you are someone who has let the number on the scale make or break how you're feeling in that day, this podcast episode is for you. I will be walking through my own personal experience and how I was able to get out of the stress on the scale without actually stopping weighing myself. And also really good action steps that you can take starting today for you to start disconnecting from that number on the scale. So one thing that I want to dive into first here is an experience that you may or may not have personally gone through that I used to go through all the time. And it was one of those experiences where I might wake up feeling absolutely amazing. I felt great in my body. My body was feeling lean. I was feeling strong. My clothes were fitting well. I had energy. I was feeling good. I was feeling great. But then I stepped on the scale and saw it up from where I wanted it to be. And immediately it caused me to spiral. Immediately my day was ruined. Immediately I'm thinking I am a failure. Nope, I am not on track. I am not doing the right thing for my body and for that long-term change. I am now lashing out at my friends and family because I'm frustrated with myself. And the problem with this is we have now connected our own happiness to the number on the scale. Even if it's up 0.2 of a pound, even if it's up half of a pound, what happens is we start to connect so much of our own success and our worthiness and our happiness to that scale to where when we see it higher than where we want it to be, immediately we go into the spiral and have all of these emotions and all this negative emotions that can ruin our day. But if we see it farther down, if we see our weight go down from where we want it to be, immediately we are happy despite having any other wins outside of the number on the scale. We might have lost inches in our waist. We might have grown muscle. We might be eating 4 times the amount that we were eating before we started a reverse diet. Our clothes might be feeling better. We might have a lot of energy. But if we're solely focusing on the scale, we're totally missing out on all the success that we are having. I actually have my clients in BPM weigh themselves and also take their body measurements every week when they check in, because our body measurements, I have plenty of clients who are going down in inches, but the weight is remaining relatively the same, right? We have a weight range. And what's happening is we're having a body recomp. We can see that fat loss. We can see that muscle growth. We can see the energy coming in. We can see those inches going down. We can see all of these outside factors happening. But if we're focusing solely on the scale, we're totally missing the fact that we are having great success. We are thriving and we are feeling amazing. What happens when we're focusing solely on the scale is a lot of times we actually start to say, you know what, I don't want to weigh myself. I don't want to be anywhere near a scale. We go to the doctor. We're like, nope, I'm not stepping on it, or I'm just not going to look. Don't tell me what it is, right? And the problem with this is It's actually shoving those feelings that we have about the scale under a rug. I always talk about this all the time. A big piece of the world today is taking our problems and removing what we think could be the trigger. And so when we remove the trigger, what's happening is we think we're doing ourselves a great thing. We can't have these feelings. And what's happening is we're putting a Band-Aid on those emotions and those feelings that we are having. So what I like to do as a coach is, instead of saying, let's just go ahead and remove that scale, I say, no, let's go ahead and have you continue to weigh yourself. Let's go ahead, if you want to weigh every couple of days, we'll create a good solid game plan. And also, let's start to kind of talk through, why are you having these feelings around the scale? Where are these feelings coming from? When you step on the scale and you see it at a number that was higher than you want it to be, are you feeling a lack of self-worth? You were hoping that it would be down because then you would feel this love for yourself. Where do these feelings come from? And we get to start to unpack those. And the really beautiful thing is, when we are going through this amazing change, and this is why I also stress consistency, tracking our macros. We know we're eating the right amount of food for our body. Reverse dieting if we need to heal our metabolism. If we're in this space where we're eating like 900 calories, 1200 calories, we're in this plateau, heal your metabolism, get yourself out of that restricted binge cycle, get into this space where you're absolutely thriving. We have these actionable steps that we can take to see that physical progress. And also we get to work on that emotionally. We get to work on that mental progress as well. They really need to go hand in hand, which is why I preach. I'm so passionate about making sure that you are seeing the physical progress, having that emotional progress, having that food freedom, having that mental freedom, having that love for yourself. They all go hand in order to step into this next chapter of your life. So one of the big things here is stopping ourselves, or stopping whatever it may be, from pushing the problems under the rug. Weigh yourself. And also, let's work on it. Let's work on disconnecting those feelings. Part of my beat the binge process that I take my BPM clients through, it actually introduces food back into our life. A lot of times we think, oh my gosh, I binge all the time. I feel like I can't eat carbs. So when I eat carbs, I end up going through this space where I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm running off track. I might as well keep going. And then the binge happens and all the guilt comes into play afterwards. And the problem actually isn't the carbs. The problem isn't actually the sugar. The problem isn't actually the food that we feel is a bad food. The problem is actually there's underlying feelings and there's underlying diet mentality, or the lack of a piece of education that you might need to learn to help us start to heal. So instead of removing the trigger, instead of removing the scale, instead of removing those foods that are considered bad food, we actually start to attack those problems head on and start to heal from the inside out to make sure you're going into this next step of your life, this next chapter of your life where you have the freedom, you have the weight loss, you have the thriving metabolism, and you have that love for yourself. What we're going to start to do here is I want to walk through my favorite tips to heal your relationship with the scale as you are going through your journey, whether that's starting to track your macros, whether you are reverse dieting, maybe you are literally in one of my programs. But I want to walk through these with you because they helped me in absolutely amazing ways with my own personal journey, disconnecting from the stress on the scale. I cannot even tell you how much I have a lack of care on what the scale says. I know it's so wild to say that, but I don't care what the scale says. Let's talk into it. So my first and favorite, I really like this one, is the education side of things of how much it actually takes to gain real weight. Obviously, you guys know that I'm a nerd. If you're here listening to this, you know that I'm a massive, massive nerd. I love education. Education quite truly changed my life. It gave me the clarity. It gave me the confidence of knowing exactly what I'm doing, what needs to be done for my body. And I have spent over 6 years getting my bachelor's and master's degree because I wanted to know what's actually happening to our body, how to actually lose weight. And I wanted to get out of that diet world. As I was going through this process of my own internal healing, I started to ask why. Why is the scale 5 pounds from yesterday? Why do people gain weight? How do you gain weight? What does 1 pound mean? What does that mean when it comes to food? I want to interrupt this oh so lovely podcast episode of mine to let you know that BPM, my beautiful Peach Mastermind, is open for enrollment. BPM is my high-level group coaching program for women who want to reverse diet to heal their metabolism from that restrictive burnout so they can lose the weight and keep it off for good. It is for women who want to increase their energy and joy for life so they can chase after their kiddos, go out to eat with their significant other, and even have wine night with the girls without that restrict, binge, and food guilt cycle. As a bonus, all of my BPM clients get complimentary access to my reverse diet course. Well, you will learn exactly how to adjust macros for reverse dieting on your own. This quite literally includes my own personal spreadsheets that help you customize your reverse diet for your success. I even threw in my alcohol plug-and-play tracker for you ladies. Go ahead and apply through the link in the show notes or hop over to my Instagram and feel free to send me the DM BPM sneak peek for my inside look of the program details. I can't wait to see your application and enjoy the rest of the episode. And so one of the big crazy things here, I talked about this on a couple of the past podcast episodes, but when you're looking at true weight gain, 1 true pound of fat gained is going to be equal to 3,500 extra calories. 2 pounds, 7,000 extra calories. 5 true pounds gained, 17,500 calories consumed. To give you some perspective here, 2 pounds gained, 7,000 extra calories. This is equivalent to 89 standard chocolate chip cookies, so consuming 89 standard chocolate chip cookies, or 20 cheeseburgers. In order to gain 2 pounds, you need to consume 20 cheeseburgers. Your weight is going up by 2 pounds overnight. Did you consume 20 cheeseburgers last night? 5 pounds gained, 17,500 extra calories. This is equivalent to 224 of your standard chocolate chip cookies or 49 cheeseburgers consumed. That is a lot of cheeseburgers to consume, okay? And if you're tracking macros, right, I'm always saying tracking your macros, staying consistent with your macros, reverse dieting, healing your metabolism, if you're hitting those macro goals, you know 100% that what you are consuming is perfect for your body, for your success. If you have the correct macros, I can help you out that. But if they are the correct macros for your body and for your goals, and you are consuming those, you're not gaining real weight. It is just some sort of fluctuation, which we will talk about in just a second. I'm going to walk through so many different reasons why your weight can be fluctuating, why the scale is going up and down. But one of my favorite things about having this clarity and having this education on how much it actually takes to gain a pound of weight is incredible, because you can look and you can say, no, I'm tracking the macros. No, I'm hitting my goals. Did I consume 20 cheeseburgers or whatever I said last night? No. Okay, great. So why don't we look at these other variables going on and start to take those pieces away? So my second piece here, it's number one, actually realizing that weight fluctuations are normal. That's just part of the way that our body works. It has pretty much 9.99999 times out of 10. The weight fluctuation has quite literally nothing to do with fat gain. Nothing to do with your fat gain, nothing to do with weight gain. Weight fluctuation is a sign that your body is just doing its thing and keeping you alive. Things are regulating. So when we're looking at the different reasons why your weight could be fluctuating, you might not have gone to the bathroom yet. You might have stayed up later. Maybe you didn't get enough sleep last night. Maybe you've been super stressed out. I once actually was in a very stressed out state. My weight stayed up a good bit for a solid month. You might have some water retention. You might have consumed alcohol, which is also causing water retention. You might have been traveling. You might be in or around your period, or your body is literally just doing its thing. So when we know that if we're tracking our macros, we know we're being consistent with our goals, and we see our weight fluctuate, think about it. Number one, look at how much you ate. Number two, think about those different factors coming into play. Stress, sleep, did you stay up later? Have you been traveling? Where are you in your cycle, right? On all of these different pieces, in addition to knowing that weight fluctuations are normal, can give you the clarity of saying, hey, I'm okay. And the other piece here too, actually, I like to use a weight range rather than a one set number for your weight. I have all of my clients in BPM use a weight range rather than one set point. This comes from the diet industry of saying like, hey, you weigh 180. If you are over 180, then you fail. If you are under 180, great, you are a success. It sounds weird to say my weight range is 177 to 183. You just don't really hear that. But I challenge you to actually start to say that and actually start to look at your weight as a range. Because what's going to happen is it's going to start to remove you from that, oh, you see a low number under that weight. I'm just picking a number here. But if you see a number under 180 and you're like, oh, great, I'm happy. Or you see a number that's over the 180 and you're like, oh my gosh, my day is ruined. We're removing that connection of having to hit one set point, one set number, and instead moving into a range. So when you see, I'm 177 today, oh, I'm 180 tomorrow, oh, I'm 183, oh, look, now I'm 178. you're still in this range and it's not so connected to your happiness, to your worth. You're just looking at this range, which also leads us into wanting to make sure that we're actually looking at our progress and our weight range over a prolonged period of time. And what happens when we're looking at our weight day to day is we're going to start to see only what's happening on a very micro level. So let's say that we're looking at a Monday through Wednesday. Let's say that we are still using that weight range of 180 to 183. And we say, all right, Monday, we woke up and we're like, okay, I weigh 179 today. Wake up Tuesday, it's 182. Wake up Wednesday, it's 180. And we're looking at those numbers. And each of those days, when you woke up on Monday and it was lower than at 180, you felt happy. When you woke up on Tuesday, you saw it was over than 180, you were upset. If we're looking at our weight range, you see all those numbers, you feel nothing about, I'm a failure. You don't feel upset when you're seeing the number on the scale. And also what's happening is it allows you to start to slowly build this out more and more. So you can look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you've got 1 week there. You can see the weight fluctuates. Then you go into week 2, right? Let's just say like week 1, it's all a bit of fluctuation. You're around that 170 to 183 range, right? You go into week 2. Now you're kind of hitting that 186 to 183. So 186 to 183. Next week, same range. Week after, oh, look, now you're actually at 175 to 180. Now your range is going down. And what's happening is this range over a prolonged period of time is starting to shift and change. And you're starting to see an overall dip in what's going on. So rather than focusing in on solely that one point, just that one number, and focusing day to day, if my number is up from yesterday, oh my gosh, my number is down from yesterday, you're actually starting to look at your progress as a whole and from week to week. Which is why I really do encourage to track over a prolonged period of time and making sure that you're seeing a graph, you're seeing those changes happen over weeks, 2 months, 2 years. And progress is not linear. I think that's something that's really important. I remember if you listen to a couple of my past episodes, I brought up actually some tips that my BPM clients, they coming into working with me, they were really struggling, a lot of them with the number in the scale, a lot of them with their own insecurities, a lot of them with that binge restrict cycle, a lot of them wanting to lose weight to heal their metabolism. And as they're going through it, one of the big things that happens is we have this instant gratification, this need for this quick fix to happen to give us happiness. So we need to stop looking at the scale for our happiness. We need to stop looking at that instant gratification for our happiness and start to look at ourselves, learn and heal from the inside out. So we're starting to love ourselves at every single different chapter of our story, every single page, every single word. We're starting to heal rather than connecting solely on the number of a scale for our happiness or focusing so solely on, I am not seeing progress here and today. And instead looking at the long-term change that is happening. And that's where you're really going to start to see, oh my gosh, I am having this progress. That's what's going to make you continue. One of my BPM clients, actually, somebody different than what I mentioned in the other episode, but we were talking about the fact that she has stopped and started programs again and again. Something to note was a lot of them were diets, a lot of them were really restrictive. They wanted something that was going to fit for her long-term, but what was happening was she was looking so solely in at day to day rather than the long-term progress. She wasn't seeing that instant gratification. She wasn't seeing those quick fixes. She quite literally had never looked at her progress over multiple weeks to months. And it was the first time she's like, I've never actually stuck with a program so long and I'm seeing so many results. And if I had just focused on that one piece, you wouldn't know how well you're doing. So to do a quick recap here, we want to make sure that number one, we have the education. We're seeing our weight fluctuate. Are you tracking your macros? Do you know how much your body needs? Are you reverse dieting, right? Are you being consistent with hitting those numbers? And number two, did you consume 17,500 calories worth of food yesterday to make your weight go up 5 pounds? Probably not. So knowing that, how much it actually takes to gain 1 pound, 2 pounds, 5 pounds. Number two is knowing that fluctuations are very, very normal and normalizing weight fluctuations. Knowing that if your body is fluctuating, if your weight is fluctuating, it is truly just your body doing its thing. It is just your body keeping us alive and thriving, okay? Number three, looking at our weight over a prolonged period of time. And number four, using a weight range rather than one set number. Those are my absolute favorite tips and tricks to really make sure that we are stepping away from connecting solely to the scale as our happiness, as our worth. Take the power away from the scale, get back in the driver's seat, You are deserving of being the person who feels amazing about yourself because you are doing the inner healing, you are doing that work, and also the scale does not need to run your life. So one thing that I talked about in a past episode is a lot of times when we are connecting our happiness to the number on the scale, there's usually something that's a little bit deeper that we need to dive into a little bit. A lot of times it's something that we've pushed under the rug. If we see the number on the scale and we immediately feel unhappy, we are trying to make the scale bring us that happiness. So I've talked about we want to bring our own happiness. We want to feel happy in our journey every step of the way. So if you're looking at the scale and you're feeling unhappy, if you just want to lose weight, what's going to happen is you are solely focusing on weight of being a certain number, of hitting a certain number on the scale to determine your happiness rather than working on it yourself. So a lot of times we think, if I just lose weight, I will feel loved. If I just lose weight, I will be seen. If I just lose weight, I will love myself again. If I just lose weight, I won't feel lonely. And a lot of times we are really connecting our happiness to the number on the scale. So I really challenge you to use this as an opportunity and to ask yourself, how am I really feeling? When you step on the scale and you don't feel good about what you see, how are you really feeling? Why is it that you are unhappy about what you see on the scale? Why is it that the number is determining whether you're going to be happy going through the rest of the day or not? And ask yourself, why is it that you really want to lose weight? Do you want to lose weight so you can feel loved? Do you want to lose weight so you can be seen? Do you want to lose weight so you can feel worthy again? And answer those questions, fill in the blank of what it is that you want to lose weight for, and start working on that now. Yes, if you want to lose weight, amazing. I love that. I love that. I am here to support you with that. And also, we get to start doing that inner work of learning why it is you want to lose that weight. Let's get that worthiness back. Let's get that trust with ourselves back. Let's love ourselves here and now, and also when we reach that end goal. So with all of this, I am always so excited to do these episodes. It makes my heart so happy when you let me know how much you love this episode. So don't forget to share with a friend if you're like, oh my gosh, I love this. Send me a DM, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. Bye, my beautiful peach. Don't forget to snag your completely free high-protein macro cookbook by simply doing a 5-star rate and review on this podcast. All you need to do is submit a 5-star rate and review, then send us your name and email through the link in the show notes so we know exactly where to send your cookbook. By submitting your 5-star rate review, this will also automatically enter you into the weekly podcast macro calculator giveaway. Every week, I give away a copy of my C. Schmidt macro calculator to one lovely winner who leaves an awesome 5-star rate and review. This winner is announced every week on my Instagram story as well as my newsletter email list. So leave that 5-star rate and review, and I'll see you in the next episode.